going to be live. Hello everyone, this is Al, Red Sox fan, coming to you from Al, Red Sox fan YouTube station, and we're going to have game number 2 for League of Subs, and it's going to pit the 1912 Boston Red Sox, managed by Ken Castro, versus the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates, managed by Beatles Eternally, who we're lucky enough to have on right now. Special guest, Beatles Eternally. Say hello, Beatles.
Hi. Hello, Beatles.
Well, that doesn't come through as strong, so...
No, it doesn't.
Well, that's okay. We'll get that worked out. So we do have Beatles live, and Beatles will decide to type. So we are very lucky to have Beatles Eternally on with us. And we're going to just give this... I'm going to go through the lineups, and hopefully Ken Castro will jump in the chat. So, alright, for the visiting 1912 Boston Red Sox, leading off, playing right field, Harry Hooper. Batting second, the center fielder, Tris Speaker. That's okay, so Beatles has joined us in the chat, and he'll be managing the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates. Batting third for the Red Sox, Duffy Lewis, and he's playing left field. Batting fourth, playing third base, Larry Gardner. Batting fifth, Jake Stahl, and he is playing first base. Batting sixth, playing shortstop, Henny Wagner. Not Henny Youngman. Batting seventh, doing the catching, Hick Caddy. Batting eighth, playing second base, Marty Krug. Batting ninth, and doing the pitching, Smokey Joe Wood. Now on to the hometown Pittsburgh Pirates, managed by Beatles Eternally. Batting first, playing left field, Fred Clark. Batting second, playing center field, Tommy Leach. Batting third, the shortstop, Hannes Wagner. Batting fourth, the right fielder, Chief Wilson. Batting fifth, playing second base, Dots Miller. Batting sixth, doing the catching, George Gibson. Batting seventh, the first baseman, Bill Epstein. Batting eighth, playing third base, Jack Barbeau. I believe that's how you pronounce his name, Barbeau. Like, there is an actress, used to be Adrienne Barbeau. I think that's the way you pronounce this gentleman's name. Batting ninth, doing the pitching, Deacon Filippi, I think. Is it Filippi? Beatles? So he's ninth, doing the pitching. the Deacon on the mound. 8 wins, 3 losses, earned run average 2.32. Batting average against 250, struck out 38, walked 14. He'll be opposed by Smokey Joe Wood. Wood had a record 34 wins, 5 losses, 1 save, even though they really didn't track saves. Earned run average 1.91, batting average against 211. And we're just going to give this a moment here and see. Felipe. Okay, thank you, Beatles. So that's Deacon Felipe. I'm sure I'll mispronounce it, but it's Felipe. Thank you very much to Beatles Eternally in the chat. So we're going to just give it 1 second. See if Mr. Castro will join us. If not, I will play it out for Mr. Castro. I have his lineup. And so we have Beatles, and we're at Forbes Field, 61 degrees, clear skies, winds 10 miles per hour, left to right. Game 2, League of Subs. Game 1 in League of Subs. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming and his Braves defeated Mr. Miller and his Reds of 1976. Alright, well, we're going to get this game going. At the plate for the 1912 Boston Red Sox, Harry Hooper. He batted .242. 2 home runs, 53 runs batted in. And again, on the mound, Deacon Felipe. Doing the catching is Gibson. Average defensive catcher with average arm. Barbeau at third, not much range, and he's below 900 fielding percentage. That's not good. Hannes Wagner at short, very good with range, 940 fielding percentage. And then you have Miller at second, average, and Epstein at first, also average. Left to right, Clark, excellent range, below average arm. Leach in center, excellent range, below average arm. And then the best outfielder is Wilson in right, 9 out of 10 range, 10 out of 10 arm. And Beatles Eternally says, pitch aggressively. Beatles also says, trivia, there was never a no-hitter pitched at Forbes Field. It could happen tonight, folks. Or early morning, depending where you are coming from in the world. So Beatles wants to pitch aggressively. Hooper will swing away. And that is a fly ball to Leach. And he makes the catch in right center field for the first out of the ball game. And that brings up Tris Speaker. Speaker, 383 batting average, 10 home runs, 90 RBIs. And off right-handed pitching, 390. Beetle, you want to pitch aggressive? Same. Okay. So Gibson sets the target. Felipe rocks and fires. Speaker grounds to Barbeau, who throws to Epstein. I believe that's going to be an infield hit, and it is. So Trish Speaker is on first, being held on by Epstein. 6 out of 10 base running ability. 77% chance of stealing second base. Stepping to the plate, Duffy Lewis, 284. 6 home runs, 109 runs batted in. 10 out of 10 bunting, 5 out of 10 hit and run. Beatles says throw over. And Speaker is back. And now, wow, his it actually goes up. 80% stealing percentage. That's pretty funny. Epstein holding him on. Lewis at the plate. Pitch out. There goes Speaker, the throw down, and he slides in safely. He beats The throw by Gibson, so he's in scoring position now with 1 out. Lewis steps back to the batter's box. Left-handed batter. 1 ball, no strikes. Beatles, do you want to pitch aggressively again or just pitch? Gibson going through the signs. He wants to try a pickoff at second. Beatles, gutsy. They throw over, Speaker's back, as Miller tried to sneak in behind him. And now pitch. Felipe gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Lewis. Lewis sends that ball out to Clark in left. He makes the catch. We have a 90% chance as I'm subbing in for Ken Castro of tagging up. So tagging will be Speaker. And the throw to third is not in time. So with 2 outs, Trish Speaker is 90 feet away from giving the 1912 Red Sox a 1-0 lead. Stepping to the plate, Larry Gardner. 315, 3 home runs, 86 runs batted in. Another left-handed batter here to face Felipe. Gibson goes through the signs. Beatles says pitch. Felipe rocks and delivers to Gardner. And that ball is a line out to Hannes Wagner, who makes a diving catch. Inning over. Saving a base hit and a run. We go to the bottom of the first. No score. 2 up for Pittsburgh. Clark, Leach, and Wagner. So on the mound, Smokey Joe Wood, as I stated, 34 wins, 5 losses, 1.91 earned run average. Batting average against, 211. He struck out 258, walked 82. His catcher, his caddy, good defensive catcher, 8 out of 10. Average arm, though. At third base, Gardner, he's average. Penny Wagner at short, he's average. A 3 out of 10 range for Krug at second. Stahl, 3 out of 10 at first. Really not much range on that right side of the field there in the infield for the Red Sox. In left field, Lewis, 5 out of 10 range, below average arm. Trish Speaker, just excellent in center. That's all you need to know. Hooper's in right. Again, not much range on that right side of the field for the Red Sox. 3 out of 10 range. Arm above average, 6 out of 10. So Clark steps to the plate, right-handed batter to face Wood, who's a right-handed thrower. Clark batted .287. 3 home runs, 68 RBIs. He's a 4 out of 10 bunter. ID Gesture in the house. How are you doing, my friend? Little Liga subs. I take it, Beatles, you wanted to swing away? Wood gets the sign from caddy. The windup and the pitch to Clark. And he walks, so Clark, very good eye there. The 3-2 count, ball 4 was low. Caddy tried to pull the glove up to get the call. Clark being held on by Stahl, 6 out of 10 base runner, 69% chance of stealing second. Now stepping to plate to face Wood is Tommy Leach. 261, 6 home runs, 43 RBIs, 9 out of 10 bunting, 6 out of 10 hit and run. Beatles wants to play hit and run. Wood gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Leach. That ball's a grounder to Stahl, and his only play is to first. Clark advances. There's one out. He's in scoring position, and now the great one. Hannes Wagner steps to the plate. .339 batting average, 5 home runs, and 100 runs knocked in. Another right-handed batter to face the right-handed throwing Wood. Caddy goes through the signs. He sets the target. Hello, Tribes fan. How you doing? You've joined us for some League of Subs. And we have Beatles Eternally versus Castro. Ken has not joined us yet, so I'm managing along for Ken. Ken has the 1912 Boston Red Sox, if you just joined us. And Beatles Eternally has the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm assuming Beatles swing away with Clark at second and Wagner at the plate. The windup and the pitch by Wood. Wagner swings, sends that ball deep out to left center field. Lewis tracks it down. 95% of Clark tagging up and getting to third. I'm assuming Beatles going to say yes to 95%. Clark tags up. The throw to third is not in time. He slides in safely. So now it's Pittsburgh's turn to have a runner at third and 2 outs. And stepping to the plate, trying to give the Pirates an early lead here in the bottom of the first. Chef Wilson. I think I called him Chief before, but I think it's Chef. He batted .272. 4 home runs, 59 runs batted in. Righty-lefty matchup. Caddy sets the target. Chief. Okay. I was right the first time. Wilson digs in. Here's the pitch by Wood. Wilson swings, it's a dribbler to Krug. Does he beat it out? No! They just get him at first. Inning over, so the Pirates threaten, but do not score. We go to the top of the second. No score. Due up for the 1912 Red Sox. Stahl, Wagner, that's Henny Wagner, and Caddy to face Felipe. Jake Stahl. .301 batting average, 3 home runs, 60 runs batted in. Righty-righty matchup. Gibson sets the target. Felipe goes through the signs. Beadle says pitch aggressively. Here's the pitch to Stahl. That's a grounder back to Felipe, who goes to Epstein at first for 1 out. 1 up, 1 down, and Henny. Wagner steps to the plate. Red Sox shortstop, .274, 2 home runs, 68 RBIs. Another righty-righty matchup. We await Beatles Eternally's pitching call. As Tribes fan says, season total for Jenkins is 5 wins. This is Tribes fan telling us about his Ferguson-Jenkins replay, I believe using 1971 with the Cubs. Jenkins is 5-3, 67 and a third innings pitched, 10 walks, 59 strikeouts, and a 2.81 earned run average. How does that compare to what he really did, Tribes fan? So we're going to pitch away, as I believe. Beatles, do you want to pitch or pitch aggressively? Gibson sets the target. Here's the pitch by Felipe. Wagner swings and he grounds that ball into left field. Second hit of the game for the Red Sox. He's on first base. 6 out of 10 base runner. Epstein to hold him on. And that will bring up the catcher, Pirtes. Pirtes, 259 batting average. No home runs, 9 RBIs. 10 out of 10 bunter. 6 out of 10 hit and run. Let's see if Beatles wants to call a hit and run with 1 out and Wagner at first. Again, you're watching League of Subs. Ken Castro's team, 1912 Boston Red Sox. He has given me the lineup and his pitching rotation. He is not with us yet, so I'm just going through what he would like to be done to the best of my ability. We do have Beatles Eternally with us, and he is managing the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates. And I'm just going to give him another moment. See if he responds in the chat. Okay. So we're just going to swing away here. Actually, you know what? He's 6 out of 10 hit and run. I'm going to play hit and run for Beatles. The windup. For Ken, I mean. Here's the windup and the pitch by Felipe. The hit and run on for the Red Sox. And it's a swing and a miss and a throw down, and they nail the runner, so there's 2 outs now. It counts 2 balls, 1 strike. As Pirtes fanned on the hit and run, missed everything. Oh, he wanted to pitch aggressively. So there's 2 outs, no one on. Pirtes at the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Pitch aggressively. The windup and the pitch to Pirtes. And that is a double in the left center. So a 2-out double, and it brings the second baseman, Marty Krug, to the plate. 308 batting average, no home runs, 1 RBI. First base open. Wood, the pitcher, on deck. Once again, runner at second. Pirtes, 4 out of 10 base running. Crud at the plate, 308 hitter. Pitcher on deck. Beatles' pitch. Gibson sets the target. Felipe sets and delivers to Krug. And that ball's popped up. Wagner calls for it at short. Inning over. He makes the catch. We go to the bottom of the second. Been a pitcher's duel so far. No score, and due up for the hometown 1909 Pirates. Miller, Gibson, and Epstein. If anyone gets on, Barbeau. Dots Miller, 279 batting average. 3 home runs, 87 runs batted in. Beatles says swing away. Righty-lefty matchup. Wood gets the sign from Pirtes. He sets and delivers. And that is a ground ball to Stahl, and he takes it to first base himself. First out of the inning. Now George Gibson steps to the plate. Pittsburgh catcher, 265, 2 home runs, 52 runs batted in. Pirtes goes through the signs, sets the target. Wood is ready. He's gonna pitch. Gibson swings, he nubs it to Pirtes, who throws him out at first. Nice stretch by Stahl. So 2 quick outs here for the Red Sox. And now stepping to the plate, first baseman Bill Epstein, looking to extend this inning. Epstein 260, 1 home run, 70 RBIs. Righty-righty matchup. Smokey Joe Wood rocks and fires. Epstein is hit by the pitch. So Epstein's on with 2 outs. Stahl holding him on. 6 out of 10 base runner. 29% chance of stealing. And now at the plate, Jap Barbeau. 220 batting average. No home runs, 25 RBIs. 6 out of 10 hit and run, but there's 2 outs. Wood nods his head. Here's the pitch to Barbeau. And he sends that ball to right center field, but Trish Speaker makes the running catch. Inning over, top of the third, still no score. Pittsburgh's been held hitless these first 2 innings. Due up for the Red Sox, Wood, and then the top of the order, Hooper and Speaker. So Smokey Joe Wood steps to the plate, 290 batting average. 1 home run, 13 RBIs. Felipe on the mound. Gibson sets the target. Here's the pitch to Wood. And he sends that ball deep to left center field, but Leach is there and he makes the catch. Excellent range shown by Leach. 1 up, 1 down, and now the left-handed batting Harry Hooper steps to the plate. Leadoff hitter, Red Sox right fielder, is 0 for 1 today. Gibson sets the target. Felipe rocks and fires. Hooper swings, grounds it past Wagner for a single. So 1 out, 1 on. Hooper 6 out of 10 base runner, 66% chance of stealing second. Epstein to hold him on. Pitch aggressively. Trish Speaker's up. 1 for 1. Single in the first, infield single. Pitch out. There goes the runner, the throw down, and he's safe. So Hooper's in scoring position with 1 out. Pirates pitch out, but Hooper still slides in safely. So Speaker, it's now 1 ball, no strikes. Felipe awaits the signal from Gibson. As Beatles Eternally says, LOL. You had the right call, Beatles. One of these days you'll get him at second. Pitch aggressively. Here's the windup and the pitch by Felipe. Speaker swings and he lines out to Miller, and quickly getting back to second base is Hooper. So there's 2 outs now. Very good play by Miller at second. Stepping to plate, the left-handed batting Duffy Lewis. Red Sox left fielder 0 for 1. Gibson goes through the signs. Felipe nods his head. Here's the pitch to Lewis. And he strikes out Lewis, inning over. We go to the bottom of the third. Here at Forbes Field, no score. Due up for Pittsburgh, the pitcher, Felipe. Then the top of the order, Clark and Leach. If anyone gets on, Wagner. Deacon Felipe. .071 batting average. No home runs, 4 runs knocked in. Wood throws strikes. Remember, he had 258 strikeouts. Wood is ready. Katie sets the target. The windup and the pitch. That's a grounder to Krug. He goes to Stahl for out number 1. And that brings up Fred Clark, top of the order. Clark walked his first time up. Righty-righty matchup here for Smokey Joe Wood. Katie sets the target. Wood nods his head. Here's the pitch to Clark. And that is a single to left center field. So Clark's on with 1 out, 6 out of 10 base running. 41% chance of stealing second. He's being held on by Stahl at the plate. Tommy Leach, he's 0 for 1. The Pittsburgh Pirates center fielder. Leach batted .256 off right-handed pitching. Wood rocks and fires. Leach sends that ball out to Lewis in left. He makes the catch for out number 2. Retreating back to first is Clark. And now the great one, Honus Wagner, comes to the plate. Wagner 0 for 1. He flied deep to left center in the first inning. Beatles Eternally. You want Honus Wagner to bunt? Oh, you wanted... Oh, I'm sorry. He wanted the prior batter to bunt. Honus Wagner's now up, as we're a little off with the chat. And we're going to get that with this. Again, League of Subs. We have... Hit. You want to play hit and run? Hit and run. So Beatles is called the hit and run for Wagner. Here's the pitch by Wood. Hit and run on. And that ball is grounded through to right field. Great call by Beatles. And going first to third is Clark. That's the second hit of the game for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Both hits coming in this inning. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, and Chief Wilson steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He grounded to second. Wood rubs up the baseball, steps back on the mound. Katie goes through the signs. What say you, Beatles Eternally, in the chat for your Pittsburgh Pirates of 1909? Steele second. The throw down, and Wagner's out! Oh my lord, inning over. Wow. The Red Sox get Wagner. He had a 90-something% chance of stealing second. I didn't even pitch out because Beatles called for the steal, and it's not fair if I pitch out because that's not fair. Wow. That was unexpected. That was a good gamble though, Beatles. So we go to the top of the 4th. No score. Due up for the Boston Red Sox, Gardner, Stahl, and Wagner. Gardner's 0 for 1. Righty-lefty matchup. Gibson goes through the target. Here's the pitch by Felipe. Gardner swings, and that goes out to the left field corner. And Clark makes the catch. Excellent range showed there by Clark. 1 up, 1 down, and now Jake Stahl steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Righty-righty matchup. Gibson goes through the signs. Felipe peers in, nods his head. Stahl ready to grip and rip. Here's the pitch. That's a grounder to Miller. He goes to Epstein for out number 2. So 2 quick outs here in the top of the 4th. And it brings up Henny Wagner, 1 for 1. He singled in the 2nd. Katie sets the target. Here's the pitch. And that is going to be a double down into the left field. And off that fence out there, Clark retrieves it and throws it back into Honus Wagner. So a 2-out double for Henny Wagner, who's now 2 for 2. And coming to the plate with the opportunity to knock a run in for the Red Sox, Hick Cady, the catcher. He's 1 for 1 today. Double to left center. Beatles Eternally says pitch to Cady. Gibson sets the target. The windup and the pitch to Cady. And that's a grounder to Miller. He goes to Epstein, inning over. So once again, the Red Sox threaten but do not score. We go to the bottom of the 4th. There is no score in this ball game due up for the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates. Wilson, Miller, and Gibson. Chief Wilson was at the plate when Wagner was thrown out at second. He's 0 for 1 today. Smokey Joe Wood still on the mound. 55 pitches. He's good for 150. Katie going through the signs. Wood nods his head. Here's the pitch to Wilson. And that ball goes deep to left center field, but Trish Speaker tracks it down. 1 out. Now come to the plate, Dots Miller. Miller's 0 for 1. Righty-righty matchup. Wood peers in at Katie. They're going through the signs. Wood nods his head. The windup and the pitch to Miller. That's a grounder to Wagner, who goes to stall. 2 up, 2 down. No one on. George Gibson steps to the plate. Pirates catcher. He's 0 for 1. Another righty-righty matchup. Wood is ready. Katie sets the target. Gibson looking to grip and rip. Here's the pitch. Gibson swings, sends that ball out to Speaker to dead center. He goes back a bit, makes the catch, inning over. We go to the top of the 5th in this dead ball pitcher's duel. Due up for the Red Sox in this scoreless game. Krug, Wood, and Hooper. Krug is 0 for 1. Felipe is now up to 51 pitches. He's good for 135. Gibson sets the target. Krug digs in. Here's the pitch to Krug. That's a grounder to Barbeau. He throws to Epstein. Out number 1. Nice play by Barbeau on third. Good strong throw. Smokey Joe Wood steps to the plate. The pitcher's 0 for 1 today. It's 279 off right-handed pitching. Gibson sets the target. Felipe nods his head. Here's the windup and the pitch to Wood. That ball's popped up. Wagner's calling for it. He makes the catch near the second base bag. So there's 2 outs. Pittsburgh fans at Forbes Field enjoying this pitcher's duel so far. And it brings up Harry Hooper. Hooper 1 for 2. Fly to right center and singled in the 3rd. Righty-lefty matchup. Felipe looks in at Gibson, nods his head. Gibson sets the target. Here's the pitch to Hooper. That's a grounder to Miller, over to Epstein. 1, 2, 3 go the Red Sox. We go to the bottom of the 5th in a scoreless game. Due up for the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates. Epstein, Barbeau, and Felipe. So Epstein steps to the plate. He was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning. Wood looks in at Katie. Katie goes through the signs. Sets the target. Here's the pitch to Epstein. That ball goes out to Speaker in center. That's the first out of the inning. Now stepping to the plate, Jack Barbeau, 0 for 1. Fly to deep right center in the 2nd. Barbeau had no home runs in 1909, and he only batted .220. Katie sets the target. Wood's ready. The windup and the pitch to Barbeau. And that is a hard shot back to Wood. He fields it and goes to stall at first for the 2nd out. And now the pitcher, Deacon Felipe. He's 0 for 1 today. Batted below 100. Not much we can do with here. Smokey Joe Wood salivating on the mound, facing his counterpart. Here's the pitch to Felipe. That's a grounder back to Wood. He goes to Stahl. I think Stahl dropped the ball. Stahl dropped the ball. Oh my lord. Inning should be over, but Stahl dropped the ball at first. And Felipe's on. Smokey Joe Wood looks none too happy on the mound. Stahl holding Felipe on. And now the top of the order, Fred Clark. Clark's 1 for 1. Walked in the first, singled in the third. Clark had 3 home runs in 1909 to go along with 68 runs batted in and 287 batting average. Hello, DC. Hope all is well. As Beatles Eternally in the chat says, 2 outs, gotta swing away. The windup and the pitch by Wood. Clark grounds to Wagner, who goes the short way to second for the first out, inning over. We go to the top of the 6th, still scoreless, between the 1912 Boston Red Sox, managed by Ken Castro, and the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates, managed by Beatles Eternally, who is in the chat doing the managing. If you're just joining us, this is a game in the League of Subs, our second game, pitting Ken Castro versus Beatles Eternally. No score, top of the 6th. Due up for Boston, Speaker, Lewis, and Gardner. Trish Speaker 1 for 2 today. Righty-lefty matchup. He had an infield single in the first, line to second in the third. Aggressive against Speaker, Beatles says. The windup and the pitch to Trish Speaker. And Speaker walks on the 3-1 count. Ball 4 was down and in. So Trish Speaker's on first. 6 out of 10 base running ability. 44% chance of stealing. Being held on by Epstein. Now at the plate, Duffy Lewis. Lewis 0 for 2. Fly deep to left center. And struck out. Beatles wants a pickoff attempt. Nothing going. The pitch out. Oh, the pickoff. Damn it. Alright, I'll do that. I clicked the wrong stupid button. Alright, so now we're going to go pickoff. Pickoff, not pitch out. Sacrifice bunt. I don't think that matters. They throw over. So the count's 1 ball, no strikes. Lewis ready to looking to sacrifice. Wants to move Speaker over to scoring positions. They're going to call pitch out. We're going to stick with the sacrifice. See if he pulls the bat back. And he does. So it's 2 balls, no strikes. Speaker's now up to 76% chance of stealing. And Beatles wants a pitch out again, and we're going to steal on this pitch out. We're going to roll the dice. There's a throw, the pitch out, the throw down, not in time. Speaker steals second. And it's 3 balls, no strikes. No outs. Trish Speaker in scoring position. Lewis again is going to square to bunt to move him over to third. He's already showing bunt. Beatles wants corners in, and they would do this. They would play corners in, so that's not... Okay, corners are in. Here's the one. How do you want him to pitch, Beatles? I'm sacrificing for Ken Castro. I know you got corners in, so I'm still going with the sacrifice. Aggressive. Lewis squares the bunt. He puts a bunt down. It's a good bunt. Only plays the first. They get Lewis at first, but advancing to third on the excellent bunt is Tris Speaker with one out. And stepping to the plate, chance to give the 1912 Red Sox a 1-0 lead. Larry Gardner, he's 0 for 2. Line to short in the first, fly down the left field line in the fourth. Red Sox looking for Gardner to drive something deep in the outfield to get Tris Speaker in from third. No score, 1 out, top of the 6th. Tris Speaker at third. Gibson goes out to visit him on the mound. Epstein joins him. So does Honus Wagner. Players go back to their positions. Normal pitch. So infield normal and the pitch. Gibson sets the target. Here's the pitch to Gardner. That's a grounder. Past Miller. 1-0 Red Sox. So an RBI single for Gardner puts the 1912 Red Sox ahead 1-0. Epstein holding Gardner out, 6 out of 10 base running, 57% chance of stealing second base. And it brings up Jake Stahl, the first baseman. He's 0 for 2 today. Gibson goes through the signs. Felipe looks in. Shakes him off. Now he's ready. Nods his head. Third base in, pitch aggressively. So Barbeau comes in at third. They're going to pitch aggressively. We're going to play hit and run. That ball goes out to Leach, makes a wonderful running catch in shallow right center field, and quickly retreating back to first base is Gardner. So there's 2 outs now, and Henny Wagner, not Henny Youngman, Henny Wagner comes to the plate. He's 2 for 2. Single in the first, doubled in the fourth. Gardner's at first, being held on by Epstein. Felipe's up to 73 pitches. Yes, he did have a high bunter rating. So I'm going to wait to make sure I know what Beatles wants to do. In these League of Sub games, they're going to go slightly long. Infield normal, pitch normal. Okay. In these League of Subs games, they're going to go slightly longer because I really want to give, if one of these subscribers is in the chat, I want him to feel the management of the game. So I'm going to wait for what they want to do. So Beatles says he wants infield normal, which it is, and he wants to pitch. So again, Wagner 2 for 2. The windup and the pitch by Felipe. Wagner swings and he grounds that ball into left field, going first to third with 2 outs is Gardner. So Wagner is 3 for 3, and now stepping to the plate, 1 for 2. The catcher hit Katie. Katie doubled in the second and grounded out in the fourth. Pittsburgh in a bit of trouble here, down 1-0. Red Sox looking to tack on a few more runs here with 2 outs, top of the 6th. Gibson goes out to have a word with Felipe. He's ready, goes back behind the plate. Beatles Eternally says pitch to Katie. Felipe rocks and fires. Katie swings, sends that ball deep to Leach, who goes back and makes the catch, inning over. But the Red Sox break through. They score 1 run on the RBI single. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 1912 Red Sox 1, 1909 Pirates nothing. Due up for the Pirates, Leach, Wagner, and Wilson. Leach is 0 for 2. Grounded out in the first inning, fly to left in the third. Beatles says swing away. The windup and the pitch to Leach. And that ball goes out to Speaker. Back to the warning track, and he makes the catch. First out here in the bottom of the 6th, and now Honus Wagner steps to the plate. Wagner, 1 for 2. Fly deep to left center in the first and singled in the third. Beatles says swing away. Katie sets the target. The windup and the pitch by Smokey Joe Wood. Wagner sends that ball deep to right center field, up against the wall is Speaker, and he makes the catch. Oh, Wagner just missed that one. So 2 outs, no one on. It's going to be up to Chief Wilson for the Pirates to extend this inning. He's 0 for 2 today. As Beatles' Speaker has caught everything. Yes, he has. Outstanding outfielder. 9 out of 10 range, 10 out of 10 arm. Beatles says swing away with Wilson. He's 0 for 2. Righty-lefty matchup. Wood rocks and fires. And Wilson works a walk. He represents a tying run at first. Stall to hold him on. Wilson, 6 out of 10 base runner. 62% chance of stealing. Second base. Stepping to the plate. Dots Miller. Miller 0 for 2. He has grounded out twice. Wood rubs up the baseball. Dots Miller digs in. Wood's ready. Here's the windup and the pitch. Beatles wants to gamble. He says, I have to gamble. Hit and run. Miller swings, grounded to Wagner. Inning over. So the hit and run did not work. I mean, Miller hit the ball hard, but right at Henny Wagner at short. He gets the out. Go to the top of the 7th. The 1912 Red Sox won. The 1909 Pirates nothing. Due up for Boston. Krug, Wood, and Hooper. Felipe's up to 80 pitches, good for 135. Krug 0 for 2. Gibson going through the signs. Sets the target. Here's the pitch to Krug. That's a slow grounder to Wagner, who comes charging in. Gets the throw off, but not in time. Infield hit for Krug. Wagner did not get a good jump on that. Krug, 5 out of 10 base runner, 17% chance of stealing. He's going nowhere. Epstein holding him on, and now comes Smokey Joe Wood. He's 0 for 2. On deck, Hooper. Felipe looks in at Gibson. Infield double play depth. Now Beatles in this game is double play depth halfway. I believe it's halfway, correct? Double play depth? Because they actually don't have double play depth. I just want to... They have halfway, corners in, infield in, guard the lines, normal. So I think it's halfway. And pitch aggressively. The windup and the pitch to Wood. And Wood sends a deep shot to the left field corner. Clark makes a running catch. Krug has a 44% chance of tagging up. He's a 5 out of 10 runner. Clark 4 out of 10 arm. We're going to say no. No. So Krug will bluff but stay at first. So once again, 1 out. Runner at first, and now for the Red Sox, Harry Hooper comes up plate. He's 1 for 3. Hooper flied to right center in the first, singled in the third, grounded in the 5th. Felipe looks in at Gibson. Do you want to play double play depth again, Beatles? Infield double play depth, pitch aggressively. Okay, so we're going to go infield halfway, which is double play depth, I believe. Felipe winds and delivers, aggressive. Here's the pitch to Hooper. He swings a number to Barbeau. And now we have to make a decision, Beatles. Attempt a risky play. There's no chance. It's 0% chance of a double play, it says. Chance to get the out at first, 23%. Do you want to risk the throw to first or eat the ball? Go to first. So Barbeau makes the throw to first. And not in time. Oh, whoa, Hooper just beat that out. Epstein's talking to the ump, shaking his head. So runners at first and second, one out, and Trish Speaker comes to the plate. The black hole out in center field. Nothing gets by him. He's 1 for 2 today, Speaker. Infield single in the first. Lined to second and the third and walked in the sixth. 1 out, 2 on, 1-0 Red Sox, top of the 7th. Pitch around, okay. So they're going to see if they can get Speaker to chase. Felipe rocks and fires. And Speaker walks. So bases are loaded with 1 out, and it brings up Duff Lewis. Duffy Lewis 0 for 2 today. Chance to break this game open. No place to put Lewis. Gibson goes out to have a word with Felipe. Wagner meets him on the mound with Epstein. Hello, Mike McAllister. How are you, my friend? You have joined us for our second game in League of Subs. Beatles Eternally, who is here managing his 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates, is taking on Ken Castro and his 1912 Red Sox. Ken Castro has not joined us, so I am doing the managing for Ken, using his instructions. Infield double play depth, pitch aggressively. So, Pittsburgh's infield will come in halfway. Pitch aggressive. And here's the pitch to Lewis. And that is a line out to Leach, and no one goes. The ball was hit so hard and not deep enough that no one tags up for the Red Sox. They don't even give us an opportunity. So there's 2 outs, bases loaded. And Larry Gardner steps to the plate. Gardner 1 for 3. Lined out in the first. Flied out in the fourth. Singled in the 6th, knocking in the only run, Trish Speaker. That's how we have the 1-0 lead, the 1912 Red Sox. Mike McAllister says, go Bucks. Another person in the corner of Beatles Eternally. The Bucks do trail by 1. Tribes fan still with us. He says, hey, Mike. Infield normal pitch, says Beatles. Here's a big play here. Felipe nods his head. Gibson sets the target. Here's the pitch to Gardner. That's a grounder to Barbeau. He goes. The first inning over. Marvelous job of managing by Beatles Eternally. His 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates pitch out of the bases loaded jam. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Pittsburgh only trails by 1. The 1912 Red Sox 1. The 1909 Pirates nothing. Due up for the Pirates, Gibson, Epstein, and Barbeau. Gibson's 0 for 2. Wood up to 93 pitches, good for 150. Wood's only given up 2 hits. He's throwing a 2-hit shutout right now. Pirates have left 5 runners on base, the Red Sox 9. Mike McAllister in the chat says, I need a beer and a hot dog and some peanuts. Beatles says, me too, Mike, LOL. So Wood is ready. Beatles says swing. Katie sets the target. Here's the pitch by Wood. Gibson swings and grounds it hard to third, over to first, 1 out. Nice play by Gardner. 1 out, no one on. Bill Epstein steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Righty, righty. Oh, what am I saying? There was an error. An error on Gardner. He throws the ball away. And I looked up. And there's Mr. Gibson at second base. A faux pas by Al Red Sox fan. So the tying, what a costly error here by Larry Gardner. Tying run at second for Beatles Eternally in his 1909 Pirates. Gibson, a 5 out of 10 runner, 32% chance of stealing third, and at the plate is Epstein, and he is a 10 out of 10 bunter, so I'm going to move my Red Sox for Ken Castro, corners in. So Gardner in at third, Stahl in at first. Tribes fan says Beatles having a beer and hot dog on the bench. That's so Jimmy Dugan, league of their own. Beatles Eternally, LOL, love it, Tribes fan. Mike McAllister, there is no crying in baseball. Beatles says Epstein bunt. Tribes fan says well played, Mike. So here's the pitch. Epstein squares to sacrifice bunt. It's a good one. The only play is the first. And the tying run for Beatles and his 1909 Pirates, 90 feet away. That's Gibson at third, and now stepping to the plate is Barbeau. He only batted .220 in 1909, and he's 0 for 2 today. Jack Barbeau comes up with a big opportunity to tie this game up. Four out of 10 bunting, 6 out of 10 hit and run. We're going to play our corners in. Actually, you know what? It's such a low-scoring game. We're going to play infield in. Try to cut the run down at the plate. It's the bottom of the 7th. So I've decided for Mr. Ken Castro, because he's not here, infield in. Beatles says swing away for Barbeau. Smokey Joe Wood rocks and fires. Barbeau ground that ball to Jake Stahl. Gibson, there's only a 19% safe chance if he goes home. So there's basically an 80% chance of throwing Gibson out at the plate. So Beatles, you only have a 19% chance of sending him safely to home. 80% chance, well, 81% chance of being out. That was a hard ground ball to Stahl at first. Do you want to hold the runner at third? Or do you want to send him on a suicide run? Hold Gibson. Alright, make sure I click on the right thing. Gibson, home, no. He will hold. And Stahl takes it to the bag himself for out number 2. So now there's 2 outs. Woods up to 100 pitches. Again, he's good for 150. Red Sox infield goes back to normal. Barbeau hit it hard, but he just hit it right at Stahl. It's going to be up to the pitcher, Felipe. Do you want a pinch hitter? I put the bench. You should be able to see the bench, Beatles. You have Hyatt, 315 against righties. Pinch hitter, okay. I put it up. You should be able to see it. Off to your right. Hyatt's 315 off righties. And then you have O'Connor's 273. So Beatles has called for a pinch hitter. And we await his decision. Again, Hyatt 315, Miller 133, Abaticchio 230, Brine 252, O'Connor 273, Simmon 154, and Stork 250. Hyatt, okay. So that's going to be the day for Felipe. Ham Hyatt will come into the game. He has a .315 batting average against right-handed pitching. And there's Ham Hyatt. 2 outs. Big moment for the Ham. Can he ham it up? We shall see. 1909, 299 batting average, no home runs, 7 RBIs, and 67 at-bats. Wood up to 100 pitches. Katie goes out to the mound, has a word with Wood. Now goes back behind the plate. Gibson's at third with 2 outs. He represents the tying run. We await Beatles Eternally. I'm assuming he's going to want to swing away here. Katie goes through the signs. Beatles says swing. Wood nods his head. He sets and delivers to Hyatt. And that's a grounder to Wagner! Wagner muffs the ball! This is a tie ball game! It is 1-1 on the error by Henny Wagner. Up until then, he has been playing outstanding in the field and at the plate, but he boots the ball, and the Pirates have tied it up to the ecstatic applause of the fans here at Forbes Field. So Hyatt's on first, 6 out of 10 base running ability, 31% chance of stealing second. Stahl to hold him on, and it brings the top of the order, Fred Clark. Clark 1 for 2. Walked in the first, singled in the third, and grounded to short for a fielder's choice in the 5th. Go ahead running Hyatt at first. Tribes fan says, wish YouTube could cut some of it. I do too. I do too. Tabletop Baseball has joined us. One of the Earls is with us. Thank you very much. Remember to check out Tabletop Baseball. Excellent channel with Earl and Earl. They play different versions of Dice Baseball. As Beatles Eternally in his League of Subs says, swing away. He's got the go-ahead run at first. That was a huge error by Henny Wagner, who played it more like Henny Youngman. Wood rocks and fires. And that is a grounder to Gardner. He goes to Krug for the force-out, inning over. But the Pirates tie it up on the air in the bottom of the 7th. We go to the top of the 8th, 1-1. Beatles needs a new pitcher. And I think, because Beatles gave me what he wanted, Sam Lever, lefty. Oh, Sam Lever, lefty, leaf field, and Nick Maddox. So do you want to go with Sam Lever, who, let me find him here. Lever, 8-1 with 2 saves. Again, they really didn't keep saves then. They just went back and looked. 2.83 earned run average. Do you want to go with Lever? It's good for 80 pitches. Let's go to the chat here. Everyone's saying hi to Tabletop. Again, check out Tabletop Baseball with the Earls. That's Tabletop Baseball. All one word. 2 words, excuse me. Tabletop, then Baseball. Excellent channel. They do a Stratomatic, dice and board, dice and card, excuse me, Pine Tar, History Maker, and others. You want to go with Maddox. Maddox. You want to go with Maddox. Why can't I find Maddox? Let me click on all pictures here. Oh, Nick Maddox. So, Beatles is going to go with Nick Maddox. Do you want him to go in the number 9 spot or double switch out your third baseman? Your, oh boy. Let me cancel here. Can't go back to the lineup, son. Who hit last? I'm stuck in the bullpen. Not gonna let me close. Oh, it let me close. Beautiful. All right, let me get back to the lineup. Oh, you're not gonna double switch. You're not gonna double switch. All right, you're not gonna take those guys out. All right, so Maddox coming in. He'll bat in the 9 spot. So here comes Maddox, as I stated. Nick Maddox. Oh, I read that. 13 wins, 8 losses. I was giving you the record for the other pitcher before. 2.21 earned run average. 230 batting average against. Struck out 56, walked 39. He'll face Stahl, Wagner, and Katie for the 1912 Red Sox 1-1 ball game, top of the 8th. Stahl 0 for 3. The Cubs, the Bears has entered the chat. He says Beatles is micromanaging like Tony La Russa at his finest. Probably is calling the pitches too. Beatles says hello to hello, the Cubs. What say you, Beatles? Pitch away. Maddox gets the sign from Gibson. He looks a little constipated in this pitcher. Pitch aggressive, says Beatles. He's going right at Stahl, who's 0 for 3. Maddox rocks and fires. Stahl swings and sends that ball deep to left center field, but Clark makes the running catch right before the wall. 1 up, 1 down, and now here comes Henny Wagner. Last inning, he was Henny Youngman at short. He booted the ball, letting the Pirates tie the game. At the plate, he's 3 for 3. Singled in the 2nd, doubled in the 4th, and singled once again in the 6th. Tribes fan says, Jay Bruce, 2nd home run of the night, and now lead 9-1. The Cubs, the Bears says, yo, love this era. Beatles says, pitch normal. Maddox gets the sign from Gibson. Here's the pitch to Wagner. And that's a single up the middle. He's 4 for 4, Wagner. He represents the go-ahead run at first with 1 out, top of the 8th. Epstein holding him on. 6 out of 10 base running ability. 23% chance of stealing second. Stepping to the plate with 1 out. He's 1 for 3. Hick Caddy, the catcher. Doubled in the 2nd, then he grounded out in the 4th and fly deep to center in the 6th. Beatles says, my favorite era too, the Cubs, the Bears. So 1 out, go ahead run at first. Katie 1 for 3 at the plate. Maddox on the mound, Gibson behind the dish. Gibson goes through the signs. We await Beatles Eternally's move here. Third base in, pitch normal. Barbeau will move in at 3rd. Maddox looks over to Epstein at 1st. Now into Gibson. He rocks and fires. Katie swings and he singles to left field. Wagner is at 3rd base. We have a 57% chance for him to get the 3rd. Wagner, 6 out of 10 base runner. Fred Clark. We're going to roll the dice. We're going to send Wagner as Clark's charging in. It's a gutsy move here. And we're going to hold Katie at 1st. There's a throw. Oh, he gets into 3rd as Clark just throws the ball into 2nd. So with 1 out, clutch hit by Katie, runners on the corners. Go ahead run 90 feet away at the bat, Marty Krug. Krug 1 for 3. 5 out of 10 bunting, 5 out of 10 hit and run. He popped to short in the 2nd, grounded out to 3rd in the 5th, and infield single in the 7th. The Cubs, the Bears beat me too. Mathis Matthewson and the Giants were the fascinating teams, and I would have loved to meet John McGraw. Beatles Eternally says, I'm firing Clark. That was bizarre. He just went right to second. I thought they'd throw it. I would have thrown to third. But I mean, it doesn't give us the option. It just gave me the option to go, and I took the 57% option for Ken Castro. Infield normal. Beatles says infield normal, pitch normal. Alright. Infield normal, pitch normal. Okay. Gibson sets the target. We're going to play hit and run here. Put the ball in motion. Try to stay out of the double play. Maddox delivers. Hit and run on. It's a ground ball to Wagner. Okay. So, Beatles. Send Wagner home. This is for me. I have a 77% chance of him scoring. I'm going to say yes. Now for you, Beatles. Throw home. 23% chance to throw home to get him. And only a 2% chance. And I'm going to bring the box up so you can see it. Because it's a big play in the game here. So, I'm sending Henny Wagner home. I'm going to go to OBS and... Wow, that's big. I didn't realize it was going to come up that big, but you can see, and you can tell me what you want to do. Let me see if I can... You only have a 2% chance for the double play, and now I'm going to bring the box down, because that's annoying. So, I mean, turning the double play is slim to none. You got a better chance of going home. I'm sending the runner from third home, Beatles. 1-1 ball game. Moment of truth here. Throw home, says Beetle. Alright, let me make sure I read this right and do it right. Throw home, yes. Here's a throw to the plate. And it's not in time. The go-ahead run scores on the fielder's choice. It's now 2-1 Boston. Top of the 8th. 1 out. Runners at first and second. And stepping to the plate, Smokey Joe Woods. He is 0 for 3. Beatles Eternally, you pretty much had no choice but to go home with it. Only 2% chance of turning a double play. That was a tough break for Beatles in his 1909 Pirates. They now trail by 1 over Ken Castro's 1912 Boston Red Sox. I'm standing in for Ken as manager. Though it's Ken Castro's team that he put out there and how he wanted it. Everyone in this League of Subs has given me their lineups. Infield double play, pitch aggressive. So, with 1 out, first and second, the infield will move in halfway, which is what we call double play. Oop, went too far. Halfway. And Maddox will pitch aggressive to Wood. He sets and delivers. And Wood lines out to Hannes Wagner for out number 2. He quickly getting back to second base is Katie. So with 2 outs, 2 on, left-handed batting, Harry Hooper steps to the plate. Red Sox right fielder, 2 for 4. Wide to right center in the first, single to left center in the third, grounded out to second in the fifth, and singled of the infield variety in the 7th. Red Sox would love an insurance run, tack on another one. It's 2-1. 1912 Red Sox over the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates. Beatles Eternally manages the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirate team. Ken Castro manages the 1912 Red Sox. He is not in the chat, so I am managing for him. Infield normal, pitch normal, 2 outs, 2 on. Hooper digs in. Maddox gets the sign from Gibson. Here's the pitch to Hooper. He grounds to Wagner. He goes to Epstein. Inning over. But the Red Sox score 1. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The 1912 Boston Red Sox 2. The 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates 1. Due up for the Pirates, Leach, Wagner, and Wilson. If anyone gets on, Miller. Smokey Joe Wood up to 106 pitches. He's good for 150, so he's going to close out this ball game up 2-1. He's only given up 2 hits. He should be throwing a shutout. But there was an error by Henny. Don't call me young, Wagner. Beatles says swing away with Leach. He's 0 for 3. The windup and the pitch by Wood. And that ball goes deep, but Hooper tracks it down in right center for out number 1. Hooper showing some surprising range. He's only 3 out of 10. He moved pretty well on that one. And now Hannes Wagner steps to the plate. He's 1 for 3. Fly deep to left center in the first, singled in the third, and fly to center in the 6th. Wood looks in at Katie. Katie goes through the signs. Tabletop Baseball says, good for 150. That's kind of funny. Yeah, the pitchers then could just throw. Wagner digs in. He's looking for a pitch he can grip and rip. Wood rocks and fires. Wagner swings. That ball goes deep. And the human black hole is out there. Trish Speaker, and he makes the catch up against the wall. Excellent range showed by Speaker. 9 out of 10 range. Poor Beatles Eternally is going to have nightmares of Trish Speaker running all over the place in center. So with 2 outs, no one on. Chief Wilson steps to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Grounded out in the first, flew out in the 4th, and walked in the 6th. Righty-lefty matchup here for Wood. Wood peers in at Katie. Nods his head. As Beatles Eternally says, unreal by the great eagle, Trish Speaker. Katie sets the target. Beatles rolling the dice. Swing away with Wilson. Not much more you can do with 2 outs. No one on. Down by 1, bottom of the 8th. Here's the pitch to Wilson. And that ball goes out to right center field, and robbing of a hit is the flying Trish Speaker. He makes the running catch. We go to the top of the 9th. 2-1 Boston. Tabletop Baseball says, was that real, his nickname, Human Black Hole, LOL? No, I just gave it to him because I think it's cool. I have named him the Human Black Hole. Everything disappears into his glove. So Trish Speaker steps to the plate for the Red Sox. He'll be followed by Lewis and Gardner if anyone gets on stall. Top of the 9th, 2-1 Red Sox. Speaker 1 for 2. He has 2 stolen bases. Infield single in the first, lined out in the 3rd, walked in the 6th, walked again in the 7th. Maddox on the mound, 17 pitches, good for 75. Tabletop says that's awesome. Beatles says his real nickname was the Gray Eagle, but I like Human Black Hole. And once again, thank you very much for Tabletop Baseball for joining us. Remember to check out the Earls, Earl and Earl, on Tabletop Baseball. That's 2 words, Tabletop, then Baseball. Type that in. If you like baseball and you're watching now or you're watching later, check it out. They play Dice and Card Baseball, Stratomatic, Pine Tar, History Maker, and I'm forgetting the other ones, but they play a lot of different varieties. They also do horse racing. And it's a really fun channel with 2 good guys. Beatles says pitch. Maddox winds and delivers to Speaker. And Speaker rips a line shot to Wilson out and right. And Beatles, you have a 48% chance for Wilson to dive and make the catch. Let me show you this. He'll be up in a moment. So you have a 48% chance of diving at the ball, making the catch. You've played this game, so you know it's either dive or it's going to drop in for a hit. I believe that's how we interpret this. So do you want to play it safe? Play it a single, possibly get the out, almost a 50-50 chance. Or miss it, and it might be a double or more. Beatles rolling the dice. He says dive. So let me pull this down. Wilson with the dive, and he makes the catch! Wilson out of nowhere, stretching, fully extended and stretching, makes the catch, robbing Speaker of a hit and extra bases. Huge play by the Pirates right fielder. Outstanding. So with one out, no one on, Duffy Lewis steps to the plate. He's 0 for 3, the left fielder for the Red Sox. Maddox awaits the sign from Gibson. Maddox toes the rubber. Gibson goes through the signs. He sets the target. The Cubs, the Bear says, I was in Cooperstown earlier this week at the Hall of Fame. Don't know how anyone could catch and run properly with the equipment they had displayed. Maybe 4th or 5th time I've been there. Always, a fun visit. Beatles says pitch. Maddox sets and delivers to Lewis. And Lewis walks. He'll be held on by Epstein. Lewis 5 out of 10 base running, 56% chance of stealing second. At the plate is Larry Gardner. Red Sox third baseman, 1 for 4. Lined out in the first, flied out in the fourth. Singled in the sixth, knocking in Speaker, so he has an RBI, and grounded out in the seventh. Tabletop Baseball asks, what do you use to record? OBS, it's free. It's a free program. O as in octopus, B as in boy, and S as in Sam. OBS. And Beatles wants to go to his bullpen. Okay. Alright, I'm going to bring this up for you, Beatles, and so you can see all the pictures. Should work. So Beatles has gone to his bullpen. This will be up in a moment. Oh, Ken Castro has joined. He says, poop. I'm late. Sorry. Ken, you're ahead 2-1. Top of the ninth, 1 out. Tying run at first base. You will now take over management of your team. I have been managing it for you. Tabletop says he does have OBS. I like it. I work well. It's a little clunky, but I'm not the best at everything, so. So, Beatles, who would you like? Do you want me to read it off, Beatles? So, due up now is a left-hander, Gardner. And your best pitchers against lefties, I think, is, he's a starter. Red Sox just knocked in a couple more runs. They go up on the Yankees in real life. You're welcome, Ken. Ken says thank you. So you're going to take over now, and I'll go through what's going on. Again, if you're just joining us, we're playing the League of Subs. These streams are going to go long. So this is saying thank you to the people who have subbed my station. I greatly appreciate it. This is a fun thing that we can do together. Tabletop says, I'll have Maddox game in about 6:30 Central in the morning. Excellent. If I'm up, I shall check it out. So once again, check out Tabletop Baseball with Earl and Earl. You'll have up, if you're up early, tomorrow morning, 6:30 Central Time. So that's going to be 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, USA. He's going to have his Greg Maddux replay using... Oh God, I forgot what he's using. Are you using Stratomatic for that? Or History Maker? Anyway, it's excellent. And that's Tabletop Baseball. 2 words. Tabletop and then Baseball. Great channel. Left leaf field. Okay, we're going to go with lefty leaf field. Do you want him to bat ninth? Strat. Okay, so Tabletop's using Strat. I apologize, Earl. I forget things. But check out Tabletop Baseball in the Earls. That's Tabletop Baseball. He's got the Greg Maddux replay tomorrow. And if you don't get it live, it might be early. Check it on demand once it's loaded up. It's fun. Leave comments below. The Earls reply. I like to call them the Dukes of Earl. Do you want him to go in the 9th spot? Let me just, yes, that 9th, okay. So lefty leaf field in the 9th spot. Let me bring this other screen back down. Alright, we have Ken Castro, who's now taking over management for the 1912 Red Sox. I used his lineups and what I would think his strategy was. It's now Ken, the top of the 9th, 1 out. The Red Sox are up 2-1. Beatles and his Pirates have the tying run at first. Lewis, 5 out of 10 base runner, 22% chance of stealing second. Beatles has now brought in a lefty left field. Hopefully I pronounced that right. In 1909, 19 wins, 8 losses, 2.37 earned run average, 220 batting average against. Lefties batted 204 against him, righties 229. At the plate is Larry Gardner, and he batted 296 off left-handed pitching. So Ken calls for the hit and run. So Beatles, you can't call a pitch out, Beatles, because he already called for the hit and run. Because that's not fair. So you can do pitch. You can do a aggressive. You can even do a pitch around, because that's not technically a pitch out. So, and again, we're all going to tweak this as we go along. Again, some of the things we might have to stay with basic because it's not fair to the other player. So essentially, actually, Beatles, you can go pitch or pitch aggressive, because even pitch around is not fair to Ken, because he called hit and run right away. Pitch aggressive. Here's a pitch by Liftfield. Hit and run on. Ken Castro's called it. A swing and a miss, and they throw the runner out at second, so now there's 2 outs. As Lewis, I think that was Lewis who was thrown out at second. Let me just make sure on that. Yes, Lewis caught stealing, second out. Oh, sorry about that. So 2 outs, base is clear. Ken Castro rolled the dice and came up craps. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Not much you can do here, Ken. You got to swing away. I wait for Beatles. Do you want to pitch or pitch aggressive? This has been a lot of fun. Great ball game, 2-1. Okay. Pitch normal. Ken, I'm assuming you want to swing away, my friend. Can't really, I wouldn't take a pitch. Swing away, says Ken Castro. The windup and the pitch to Gardner. And he sends that ball deep and gone! Unbelievable! That was a blast to right field. The Red Sox take a 3-1 lead on the Gardner home run. Holy cow, as the late great Phil Rizzuto would say. I was not expecting that. Let's just go back to Gardner for a second. Gardner had a whopping 3 home runs in 1912, and he got one of them today. Wow, that could be it, the last nail in the coffin for the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates. What a call by Ken Castro. Hit away! Now at the plate, Stahl. Jake Stahl, 0 for 4, the Red Sox first baseman. The fans have gone silent here at Forbes Field. Littfield's disgusted, muttering to himself but walking around the mound. Steps back on the mound. Gibson goes through the signs. He sets the target. Stahl digs in that right-hander's batter's box. He awaits the left field delivery. Pitch aggressive, says Beetle. Stahl, what do you say, eh? I'm taking swing away. Here's the pitch to Stahl. And that is a single to right field. So left field has been treated quite rudely by these Red Sox hitters. A 2-out single extends the inning for Henny, don't call me Youngman, excuse me. What a day at the plate Henny Wagner's having. 4 for 4. Singled in the second, doubled in the fourth, singled in the sixth, and singled in the eighth. The Cubs, the Bears, his 390-foot home run. Very impressive in 1903. That was a shot. Ken Castro says swing away. Left field gets a sign from Gibson. Beetle says a pitch aggressive, infield normal. 2 outs, runner on first. The windup and the pitch to Wagner. That ball goes out to Leach, and he makes the catch right up against the wall for out number 3. Fine play by the Pittsburgh Pirates center fielder. We go to the bottom of the 9th. The Red Sox tack on another on the Gardner blast to right. They now lead the Pirates 3-1. Due up for the 1909 Pirates in their last gasp effort, down 2. Miller, Gibson, and Epstein. If anyone gets on, Barbeau. Joe Wood still out. Smokey Joe Wood still out on the mound. Good for 150 pitches. He's only thrown 109. Looking for a complete game. 1 run, unearned, 2 hits. Victory. At the plate, Dots Miller. He's 0 for 3. The pitch count, Ken, 109 pitches for Smokey Joe Wood. He's good for 150. He's throwing a 2-hitter. The 1 run he gave up was unearned. The error by Henny, don't call me Youngman Wagner, at short. Back in the bottom of the 7th. Beetle says swing away. Ken says pitch normal. Katie sets the target. The windup and the pitch by Wood. Miller swings and he sends that ball out to Lewis in left field. Goes back to the track and makes the catch, out number 1. Red Sox 2 outs away from victory here at Forbes Field. George Gibson steps to the plate for Beatles Eternally in his 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates. 0 for 3. Gibson. He needs to channel his inner Kirk Gibson. Wood now up to 111 pitches. He peers in at Katie. As Beetle says, that's a loud out. Yes, it was. That was a loud out. We await Ken Castro and Beatles Eternally. Beetle says swing away. So Ken, you can either pitch or pitch aggressive. I think that's the way we're going to play it. Can't really do a pitch around. Well, you can if you want. You can walk them by accident. So you can either pitch around, or swing aggressive. Normal. Okay, Wood's ready. Nods his head. He winds and delivers to Gibson. That's a grounder back to Wood. He throws over to Stahl at first. Out number 2. It's all comes down to this. Bill Epstein. He's 0 for 1. Right-handed batter facing the right-handed Smokey Joe Wood. In the second inning, he was hit by a pitch. In the fifth, he flew deep to center. And in the seventh, he had a sacrifice bunt, moving Gibson to third. It will be up to Epstein to extend the inning. If he can get to first, the tying run would come to the plate in Barbeau. Ken Castro says pitch normal. We wait for Beatles Eternally. Beatles says, I want Gehrig to come back in time and pinch hit, LOL. I don't think you have Lou Gehrig on your team, Beatles. Oh, that's funny. So, Wood is ready. Beatles says swing away. The windup and the pitch by Smokey Joe Wood. And that's a grounder to Stahl. He takes it to the bag himself. Ball game over. The 1912 Ken Castro Boston Red Sox 3. The 1909 Beatles Eternally Pittsburgh Pirates 1. It was a very hard-fought ball game to the bitter end. The winning pitcher, Smokey Joe Wood, 1-0. Losing pitcher for Pittsburgh, Maddox, 0-1. MVP of the game, Smokey Joe Wood. Let's bring up the box score. Box score will be up shortly. And before we go through the box score, I want to say thank you to Ken Castro and Beatles Eternally for being part of the League of Subs. And again, these streams are going to go long. There's going to be a lot of interaction with the chat. Beatles and I, we talked on Skype. We tried to do it through Skype. I'm going to work on that better. You really couldn't hear Beatles. I could hear Beatles, but the chat couldn't hear Beatles. So we went back to this. The Cubs the Bear says, good game. Thank you. I hope everyone enjoyed. These streams are going to go long. If you don't want to be part of it, that's fine. But these are fun streams. The interaction, the community, the camaraderie, that's what this is about for all of us. That's the way I look at it. I want to say thank you to Beatles Eternally and Ken Castro, the Cubs, the Bears. I want to thank you, Tabletop Baseball, Earl, who jumped in. That was very kind of him to come and join us, and he stayed for a while. I greatly appreciate that. So check out Tabletop Baseball. That's 2 words. Tabletop, then Baseball with Earl. He's going to have the Greg Maddox replay up tomorrow at 6:30. He's going to go live 6:30 Central Time in the morning. I believe it's the morning. And that's 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And if you don't catch it live, and it's fun live because you can go in the chat, catch it on demand. Support the people who you like. And it's not necessarily with money or anything like that, but with views and likes and shares. So also, thank you to Tribes Fan. And DC, I believe, was in here for a little while. Thank you very much. Mike McAllister stopped by. Thank you. I hope I didn't miss anybody. I'm scrolling up. Bear with me. To me, this is very important to say thank you to people. SDC, Tribes Fan. And thank you, ID Gesture was here too. And check out his channel. That's ID Gesture. Another very fun, nice channel. ID Gesture, all one word. All these links are on my YouTube page under either featured or related. And I'm actually going to put these all under featured by tomorrow. So thank you very much, gentlemen. for taking time out. I hope everyone enjoyed this. We're going to go quickly through the box score. Hey, DC's still here. I hope you liked it. And DC, we have a couple of teams that have been picked. And if the people in the chat who picked the teams aren't there, if you're in the chat, when is the 80s Phillies? Oh, the one and done 80s Phillies game. I think we're going to go tomorrow with that. And Beatles says, love it. I'm glad. I hope, Ken, I know you came late, but I hope you enjoyed it. Who else has played a league game, Ken Castro said. Eric beat Mr. Miller. So you and Eric are tied for first place. Beatles and Mr. Miller each have a loss, and we're going to go on with another team. But I think what I've decided, there's Andre Ford, and I forgot the other gentleman's name. They picked teams, but I never got lineups from them. So when I do their games, and I'm gonna, because they picked them, if someone else is in the chat who has not picked a team and would like to manage for them, we're going to do that. I think it'll be fun. If not, I'll manage for both teams to the best of my ability. So let's go through the box score. And once again, thank you very much. I'll say it one more time. These streams are going to go long. Don't feel terrible, Ken. You gave me the lineup. I played it pretty good, you know, and it's fun. Beatles. I'd like to get both participants on Skype so everyone can hear everybody, because I think it'd be a lot of fun. I thought Beatles and I talked on Skype and it worked well and I could hear him. It just didn't come through well on through the computer. You could hardly hear Beatles on the broadcast. I could hear him in my headphones, but you couldn't hear him on the second screen. So can't get Skype would be great. So, and we also have another idea Beatles and I came up with. Maybe tomorrow we do a Google Hangout, because I know that works pretty good, I think, with people talking. So, and you can talk about the projects you're working on. Just general, anything. Keep it lighthearted, you know. But mostly what we like for fun, you know, what games you're playing. We can start with that. Just like we did that other time, Ken. We moved into movies and TV shows and all kinds of things. So I'm going to go to the, I keep saying it, but I'm actually going to do it now. Spit it out, Al. The box score. All right, the winning pitcher, Smokey Joe Wood. 9 innings, complete game, 2 hits, 1 run. It was unearned. Walked 2, didn't strike out any. Threw 115 pitches. He gets the win. For Pittsburgh, Felipe, 7 innings, 9 hits, 1 run. It was earned. 2 walks, 1 strikeout. Maddox got the loss. An inning and a third, 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned. Walked 1. And then Leaffield came in, 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned. 1 home run. That was the nail in the coffin. 10 pitches. And let's go to the at-bats, and we're just going to give you the hits. For Boston, well, Boston had 13 hits. Hooper, 2 for 5. Speaker, 1 for 3, a run score. He walked twice, and he stole 2 bases. Lewis, 0 for 3. He walked once, struck out once. Gardner, 2 for 5, 1 run, 2 RBIs, and he had a home run. Stahl, 1 for 5. Wagner, Henny Wagner, 4 for 5 with a run and a double, but he had a big error that let the Pirates tie the game at short. Cady, 2 for 4 with a double. Krug, 1 for 4 with an RBI. Wood, the pitcher, 0 for 4. In total, the 1912 Red Sox, 38 at-bats, 3 runs, 13 hits, 3 RBIs, 3 walks, 1 K, 2 doubles, 1 home run, 21 runners left on base. As a team, they batted .342. The 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates struggled at the plate. They had 2 hits, and we're just going to go through the hits. Clark, 1 for 3, and Wagner, 1 for 4. The run was scored by Gibson due to the error by Henny Wagner for the Red Sox at short. So we had a Wagner on each team playing short. That's pretty funny. In total, the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1909, 30 at-bats, 1 run, 2 hits, no RBIs because it scored on an error, 2 walks, and left 9 runners on base. And this tells it all. The Red Sox pitching shut down the Pirates. Batting average as a team for the 1909 Pirates, .067. Ouch. Poor Beatles. Beatles Eternally says, speaker was magnificent in the field. Yes, he was. Okay, so I hope everyone enjoyed this. I did. We're going to try to do these once a week, possibly twice, but I think we'll go once a week, because you got to get the people. What makes it fun is if the people can actually participate. I'm going to try to get the Skype going. I don't know how to do Google Hangout and OBS at the same time. I'm sure you can, but I don't know how. I might fool around with that, but I think Skype works much better. I just got to get we'll do a test maybe tomorrow if we're doing if we do the Hangout and just talking about what's going on. Beatles says he was one of the greatest, Trish Speaker. Ken Castro says, one of the reasons I picked that team, Beats, love Speaker. So we're almost going on 2 hours for this stream, and I'm sure Beatles is tired. So I want to say thank you to everyone who took time out to spend time with myself, Ken Castro, and Beatles Eternally. Thank you very much. Once again, check out Tabletop Baseball with the Earls. He has his Maddox replay tomorrow morning. Check that out. Also, check out ID Gesture, Eric from Higher Ground Gaming, What's Blazing in Sports if you like boxing, Ron Junket, Retro Sports Network, the Dodcast, which is also with Ron Junket. They talk about Nationals baseball. They write for the Nationals. They have their own site. You're welcome, Beatles. Thank you. Thank you. Oh boy, I'm forgetting people. I hate when I forget people. Greg J or J Greg. I dyslexic. I messed that name up. He's a very fun channel. Big Tigers fan. And he does a lot of baseball. Very fun channel. Baseball demos. Phil the Issues Guy for TV and movie reviews. Big Game of Thrones. Check him out on Sunday. It's a fun show, an after show. Broke Black Man 94, one of my moderators. He does a lot of wonderful movie and TV reviews. Johnny Giants Bane, same thing, movie, TV reviews, mostly Game of Thrones stuff. JD, another moderator. He's an author. And anyone who's on my featured channels or related channels, and I'm going to put the related channels up in the featured channels because that's what I'm going to do. Let's grow our communities together, because then everyone has that camaraderie. So if you're on with ID Gesture, you see people you know, you talk, you have fun. Whether he's playing baseball or one of his RPG action games, lots of fun, lots of fun. Whether you're on with Tabletop Baseball, catching them live in the chat, let's all grow our channels together. All right, thank you very much. I've babbled long enough. I'm sure you can't stand hearing my voice. Health and happiness till next time. Bye-bye, and God bless.